Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group. In today's video, I'm actually not sure what we're going to see today in today's video. Today's video is actually kind of a bit of a surprise. In short, what is going on here is I was invited to a webinar by TalkDesk to see or hear about what they call the flash wins for 2019. For those of you who aren't familiar with TalkDesk, what TalkDesk is a specialized call center platform that is a voice over IP solution, but specifically custom tailored with some incredible and in some cases advanced out of this world features specifically for contact centers or call centers. For those of you who do know, I work with many voice over IP providers. Recently, I've had probably about 5 different call centers that contacted me in the last month, right before Christmas. And all of them mentioned a company called TalkDesk that they wanted to look at. Lo and behold, we found out that we actually represent and can source service for TalkDesk for our customers as well. So I decided, you know what, let's talk to these people, find out more about their product. And I actually scheduled a demo with these guys about 2 weeks ago. And I got to tell you guys, I was beyond impressed with what I saw. So if you're watching this video and you are somebody who manages a call center or owns a call center and is in charge of the communications or technology behind your call center solutions, watch this video. Basically what this video is supposed to be, again, it's called Flash Webinar Wins for 2019. I think what they're going to go over in this video is some companies they work with in 2019, some big deals, some small deals, some wins, some successes, and just talk a bit about the platform and what their vision is for helping call centers to find the best voice over IP solutions in 2020 and beyond. So again, I'm not sure what we're going to see in this. I think this video is for partners, dealers like myself only. So you guys may see some inside information. I did get direct permission from their marketing department that I could record this video and put it on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to pause it now, and then I'm going to restart the video again when the webinar starts. So stay tuned.
Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for those of you way across the pond in the UK. Looks like a couple people are still dialing in, so we'll start in just about 30 seconds here. All right, well, let's get going here. Like I said, good morning, good afternoon. I see there are some people dialed in from London area this morning, so thanks for joining us here today. This is Heather Riley. I'm the Director of Channel Marketing here at TalkDesk. We are really happy to have you join us this morning as we take just a quick half hour to dive into a couple recent partner wins. We are calling these flash wins, as you've probably seen in our emails and in our last webinar series, but we just take a couple minutes to dive into why we won the deal with our partner, what the customer was looking for, what business challenges we solved, and all that good stuff. So we feel these are really valuable for partners to kind of learn and keep their education honed on how to spot good TalkDesk deals. Presenting today is Matt Hahn. He is our Vice President of the channel in the East. So before he gets going, I just want to remind everybody that the call is being recorded. You will have a chance to listen to the recording. We'll send it out after the webinar. We also will take some questions at the end. So in your chat box, in your Q&A box, go ahead and pop in any questions you might have as we get going. We'll address those at the end. So for now, I'll turn things over to Matt.
Great. Thanks, Heather, and good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining today. This is our second TalkDesk Flash Win series of many. So we've gotten a lot of demand to run these, Flash Win sessions, so more on those to come. But as I mentioned, we received consistent feedback from our partner community, and the thing they want to know about TalkDesk, they love our value prop, they love our story, but they want to know where we're winning and why customers are choosing TalkDesk over our other contact center providers. So we're getting a ton of attention right now. We've been recognized at the end of last year as a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Prior to that, we were a visionary for 2 years running, and we just hit the leader quadrant, which is a huge success and big deal for the company. So when you are talking to your customers about their customer's experience. So again, you're talking to your customer about their customer's experience and dealing with them, or you're helping a client with a UCaaS project. They're moving from a premise-based PBX to the cloud, or they're unhappy with their cloud phone system and they're moving to a different one. You'll be able to recommend a leader in the market for customer experience software, and that's TalkDesk. So with our With our certification sessions, you'll understand our differentiators and really how we're built and why we're different. And then these sessions, you'll understand specifically where we're winning. And that's the purpose of today's webinar. I'll share with you 3 channel-driven TalkDesk wins. And I'm going to highlight 3 specific things for each one of these wins. The type of customer where we won this opportunity with, the business challenges that this particular customer was facing, and then why ultimately they chose TalkDesk as their contact center platform. So as Heather mentioned, I'll leave time in the end for Q&A. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you have. With that being said, I'm going to jump right into it with our first win. So this one is a really hip new company that offers an online real estate platform. So it eliminates a lot of the traditional hassles in buying or selling a home. I think that I can relate, a lot of you can relate that it is a hassle. This is a really cool company. They're actually named the #1 startup in Arizona. They've transacted more than 100,000 homes since 2015. Coincidentally, 2015 was the same year that TalkDesk went to business. So these 2 companies, TalkDesk and this one of our customers here, actually went to market the same year, just to put that into perspective. But this particular client had 80 contact center agents, and they have 110 back office users as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about the back office, but those are essentially people who are not contact center agents who need a phone. You know, we'll call those back office folks, right? So some of their challenges in this organization were they had 2 separate phone systems in place. One was the customer success team that was actually on Five9, one of our competitors. That was their contact center, their customer success team. And the rest of the office was on a phone system platform from Nextiva. So a couple of challenges on the Five9. They had no mobile app. That's something they really wanted. And on the Nextiva, there was literally no reporting and very, very limited customization. So they couldn't make it exactly how they wanted. It was very kind of rigid in the way that they had to use it. This company has remote workers across the board, and they're early adopters of soft phones. So this company doesn't have the hard physical plastic phones on the desks. They're all soft phone users, which you'll see a lot of your customers out there are starting to transition that way. I think there's less demand for the plastic on the desks these days. They're using Salesforce as their CRM. Now Five9, their previous contact center, they had issues integrating with Salesforce, specifically caller ID matching, outbound dialing from Salesforce, call recording storage. Their storage on their call recordings were only kept for 1 month. It doesn't do you a whole lot of good to keep your recordings for just 1 month. That's not a lot of time to mine that valuable data. And I'll note, TalkDesk actually stores call recordings forever, infinitely, and we don't charge for that either. So just a quick point there on a difference between us and them. But what this particular customer wanted was a contact center and back office solution under one platform. They were sick of having 2 separate ones for extension dialing and reporting and the customer journey. They wanted a deep integration with Salesforce. And also, there was another little division that was using Zendesk. So this particular client had 2 CRMs. They didn't just have one. They had Zendesk and Salesforce. They're also using Slack, which is a widely used communication tool platform that companies use internally to send instant messages or make phone calls to one another. So we integrate, again, with Slack out of the box. So those are the applications were Salesforce, Zendesk, and Slack. They wanted omnichannel. They didn't have any omnichannel prior. And most notably, they wanted SMS, text messaging, and chatbot. They wanted the call recordings to be held and saved for at least 1 year. At least a year, they needed those call recordings. And then the last thing that they were really looking for was access to TalkDesk from anywhere, even on their mobile. They lacked a mobile app on their previous system. So why did they choose TalkDesk? They wanted, again, to move to one reliable, standardized system that's easy to use and can keep up with their growth. This is a really fast-growing company. And they wanted that mobile support. The Salesforce integration enabled them to have better reporting. They got click to dial right out of Salesforce, which they didn't have before. They got screen pops for inbound calls. It's very common and it's simple, but it's very important to the customer experience when the agent knows who's calling and can greet that caller accordingly. It makes them feel special and loved. It's a better customer experience. And free storage of the call recordings that they could keep indefinitely. They loved our out-of-the-box integrations with not only Salesforce, but the Zendesk and Slack as well. So those are the key reasons why they chose TalkDesk to be their contact center platform. And give you an idea on the sales cycle of this particular app, it took about 2.5 months to work through them, understand all their needs and requirements. And they started with 110 back office users first. And then 25 days later, they migrated 80 of their contact center agents over. So 80 seat contact center agent. That particular agent who referred TalkDesk to this customer is enjoying 13K MRR that you see there monthly, and a very happy customer. The second one, and this, I'm excited, I can actually say the name of this customer. It's an online restaurant reservation service that I think probably everybody on this call, maybe with an exception of some of the guys in the UK, have used. The company is called OpenTable, and they actually cover more than 30,000 restaurants across the US and abroad. They seat a staggering $23 million 23 million diners a month. This 23 million diners sit down a month based on their OpenTable reservations, which I thought is really cool. They have about 300 total agents, so they're big and they're global and they're fast growing. So as their business, OpenTable's business expanded rapidly, especially overseas in Europe and Asia, the number one issue that they experienced with their previous contact center provider was call quality. They experienced call quality concerns, and nothing is worse than talking to a company as a consumer and having call quality issues. They also had very poor integration with, again, you're going to see a little theme here, with Salesforce. So Salesforce integration, that's something that's going to be a recurring theme. Thirdly, they had a very heavy reliance on their IT department to make changes to the platform. When they needed to set up call flows or change routing, they have to go into their portal, request IT to get into the IT queue, and as soon as IT finished another project, they could start working on this. So it resulted in a lot of lost time, poor efficiency, having to rely on IT to make simple call flows and routing changes to the contact center. So why did OpenTable choose TalkDesk as their contact center provider? Number one, for them, as I mentioned, their biggest issue was the call quality. They chose TalkDesk because of our global architecture and our reliability. TalkDesk has 9 global data centers around the world. We're the only contact center provider that offers a service level agreement with 100% uptime. We have a service level agreement of 100% uptime. We also have a service level agreement, not just on uptime, but on actual call quality globally. And call quality is measured in mean opinion score. It's called MOS. 5 is the best it can be. We average a 4.2 globally in terms of our call quality. So very excellent call quality globally. So it's an easy choice for companies that have global presence to choose TalkDesk. Our ease of use, now especially for their administrators, they don't have to open up IT tickets and when they can get to them and help them out. Salesforce integration, again, a huge one. It's a slam dunk. And I'll take this opportunity to say one more time, if you have clients who are using Salesforce as their CRM, they should be looking at TalkDesk. And we'll be happy to show you a deeper dive into specifically why we're different, how we integrate with Salesforce. We'll show you a demo. We have a dedicated channel sales engineer. His name is Jason Lowe. We all love him and call him J-Lo. He will be more than happy to show any of you on the line today a demonstration of our Salesforce integration or anything else that you'd like to see. So just a quick plug for Jason to show some demos. But overall, OpenTable was looking for a partner that could match their culture and their DNA. They're young, they're innovative. They wanted someone who could grow with them. They loved TalkDesk for that reason, being young and innovative, and they loved TalkDesk's strong focus on customer experience. So it was a perfect marriage, a perfect alignment between the two companies. So I'm switching over to the third and final FlashWind that I wanted to cover. A little bit different of an industry, but this is also a very fast-growing software provider. And this particular company does learning management and performance software for K through 12 schools. Now, for a lot of you who have children and interact with your schools, this company was the first one to have an online platform for students, for teachers, for parents to communicate. And what they do is have class websites, events, calendars, assignments, all online. So it's basically what they do is better school management. You know, they track student growth and they enable family engagement. Pretty cool company. They're growing like crazy. They started with TalkDesk with 250 agents, and you can see the MRR on this one is significantly higher than the others I just talked about. They started with 250, and they grew to 500. Their contact center doubled in size. It's several acquisitions, and you can tell from any company that has acquisitions and grows so quickly, there's going to be growing pains, and there's going to be a mismatch of different technologies that are used from different companies that are all trying to be brought into one. So that's their biggest challenges. One of their biggest challenges was that they were so fast growing. They needed a scalable contact center solution to support that immediate growth. They knew they were getting acquired. They knew there were going to be more people coming on board, and they had to pick a solution that could handle that growth without any downtime. And I'll talk a little bit more about that too. Also, again, their IT department was doing all the heavy lifting when it came to changes and management of the different contact centers and phone system platforms. So they wanted something that was a little bit more self-sufficient that they could do on their own. They needed something that would use to take that burden off the IT team. Again, this is the third example I'll use today. Not all of our customers use Salesforce, but these three specific wins do. And our integration with Salesforce and our specific use case on this customer was they had no way to create call flows or any type of complex routing based on the end customer's data. And that's something that TalkDesk brings to the table. And I'll give you a quick example. Let's say a customer has an open ticket or an unresolved ticket. And when they call into our system, we can look and see that they have an open case. And our system is smart enough to know to route them to the person who owns that case. So we can route a particular customer who has an open case or a ticket in the last 30 days or a week or a month or whatever you choose directly to the case owner. So it cuts down on having to get bounced from different agent to agent. It helps improve the overall customer experience. So that's one area. They also didn't even screen pops. So they didn't know who was calling them and were able to greet them accordingly. So now, that's something that is very important when it comes to contact center integrating with a CRM. The last piece that was a big challenge for these folks was they took notes and data manually in a bunch of different applications and manually uploaded them into Salesforce. So you can imagine the mess in trying to be consistent with uploading manual data into Salesforce. So it's an inconsistent agent experience and for the end customer because a lot of the information was missing or wasn't entered into the right field and took them longer to find it. There's a lot of issues, as you can tell, that comes along with the integration and, I guess, taking notes in different areas and trying to manually load it into Salesforce. The last piece was that this customer didn't have the ability to do was forecast and schedule the right number of people to be on the phone at the right time to handle these callers. So we call that in this world workforce management. Do you have the workforce available to handle the right number of calls? You can either have too many agents sitting there and idle and not enough calls, so they're all twiddling their thumbs waiting around, and that costs the company a lot of money to have these employees just sitting there and not really working. Or do you have too few agents who can't keep up with the demand, and there's too many calls on hold, and the average hold time is extremely long because there's just not enough agents on hand. They had no way to forecast or schedule their workforce. So that's something we help them clean up as well. So why did this cool education software company choose TalkDesk? Our advanced analytics and reporting help them understand what is going on in their contact center. They had no visibility or reporting. They just had such a hard time even knowing how the contact center was performing. So that was a big one. I think even bigger, what they were looking for was something that was easy to use. When you go from 250 agents to 500 agents, that's 250 people who need to learn a new tool. And with TalkDesk, if you can use a smartphone, you can use the TalkDesk agent interface. It's called our call bar. It's extremely easy to use. It's modern and simple, and there's almost zero learning curve for that. So that was something very appealing to them as they knew they were growing and doubling in size. The new agents could just sit down and start using it day one without much of a learning curve. And also, they didn't have to rely on IT to make those system-wide changes. So that's a huge benefit to them to be able to change and scale quickly as needed. The last piece that they really loved about us was our architecture. The way that we are built gave them the ability to scale quickly with no impact on their service whatsoever. They could go from 200 to 500 or 500 to 5,000 without any downtime whatsoever. And it's based on TalkDesk being born in the cloud. We have no hardware. We are a microservices architecture that sits in AWS, and we can light up customers extremely quickly. And that's something that this particular customer was really looking for. They wanted something that could keep up with the growth in their demand. So that is the end of the third flash win that I wanted to highlight. So you can see a couple trends that I covered there, and I just wanted to summarize them real quickly for you. The ease of use. Companies gravitate towards us because we're easy to use, not only for the agent to sit down day one and start using our application, but also for the system administrators to make changes to the system without having to open up IT requests. That's a really big deal. So when you're talking to your clients, you can ask them, who manages your system? Do you have to open up IT requests? How long does it take for them to actually come and help you make changes to the system? Those are easy conversation starters that can get the conversation rolling and get their interest in maybe managing it on their own. Maybe they need a more modern enterprise contact center. Secondly is the integration of our widely used applications out there. I mentioned Slack and Salesforce and Zendesk and Microsoft Dynamics. These are out-of-the-box integrations with TalkDesk that really cut down on pro services time. We don't have statements of work that are extensive and hundreds of thousands of dollars in pro services customization. It's simple click implementation. We make it really easy. It's pre-integrated. So those widely used apps, ask your customers if they're using Salesforce, Slack. TalkDesk can integrate with those with clicks of the mouse. And lastly, our architecture. Reliability and uptime is the reason we win deals. We have global support. We have the global voice quality. I mentioned the 4.2 out of 5 globally. So these are companies that rely on us for excellent voice quality globally. I really hope that you all found these examples useful in understanding the type of customers, the challenges of these customers and the use cases, and why ultimately they chose TalkDesk as their contact center platform. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I know we have about 9 minutes to go, and I'm going to look at the questions here real quickly and see if I can help answer these. So one came in. Give me one moment here. There's a question that says, what other common CRM systems other than Salesforce do you integrate well or relatively seamless with? And that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So I mentioned a lot about Salesforce, and not only are they a financial backer of our company, but we have a super tight integration with them. We're right down the street from them in San Francisco as well. Strategically, we have a really tight relationship, but we're not only with Salesforce. So the question is, what other ones do you guys work with? We work with Zendesk right out of the box, Zoho, Pipedrive, Microsoft Dynamics. Those are the ones that are out-of-the-box integrations. They don't require a whole lot of professional services. They're pre-integrated. We work with those without much configuration whatsoever. Now, I will take this opportunity to also say, if a customer has their own homegrown CRM, they don't want to pay Salesforce or Zendesk or Microsoft Dynamics for theirs, and they like to build it and tinker with it and manage it themselves. As long as they have an API, we will hook into their homegrown contact center and integrate and operate the exact same way. So we can do screen pops, and all the call recordings will be saved there. So there's a lot of things we can do, even for the non-traditional CRMs. So don't be scared if a customer has their own CRM and think that we can't integrate, because we can, as long as they have a API. So another question came in on back office users. So I mentioned that in the second use case, or my first use case, that there's 110 back office users. And the question is, mentioning back office users on a single platform, do we provide basic telephony? So we do. It's not our strong suit. We're not a UCaaS provider, so I don't want to make you think that we are. We're primarily a contact center company. That's what we do best. We focus on customer experience. We want to be the agent interface. We want the agents to use TalkDesk when they interact with customers, whether it's an email or a chat or on the phone. We want them to use TalkDesk. However, we do have stripped down licenses that give you basic telephony functionality. We call those our back office licenses. They're cheaper. We don't have to care about reporting on those user licenses or those types, because they're not agents. They're just people who need a phone. And they can use the soft phone on their computer, which is downloaded in Google Chrome and very easy to use on a PC or Mac, or they can download it in the App Store, Android or iPhone, very easily. Make and take calls wherever they need to from the TalkDesk mobile application. So we do provide basic telephony, to answer that question directly. I'm looking to see if any more questions are coming in. So here's another one that just popped up. We recently started getting more calls from smaller call centers or businesses that need a contact center solution. What is considered a good-sized company or too small to work with you guys? That's a really good question, and it gives me the opportunity to talk a little bit about our history. We started in Silicon Valley and in California, targeting fast-growing tech startups. That was really where we started, and started first launching our product with real fast-growing companies that needed some type of customer experience platform. And our whole shtick early on, our marketing was, we could build a contact center in 5 minutes. And it's true, because the way we're built, we can light them up super quick. And that attracted a lot of really small customers. So here at TalkDesk, we have a very long tail back to 2015 of those small customers who've grown with us over the past 5 years. And they've grown into the hundreds and even thousands of seats as their businesses have also grown. We'll take any size contact center that's out there as long as we're the right fit for it. We like to vet it out and understand what their requirements are, and we're happy to entertain any and all contact center deals. The smallest size that we will entertain is 5 seats, and we go up into there's no limitation on our platform to the number of contact center agents that we can support. So we have multiple customers who are 2,500 seats and above, who are on the same license type as the same contact center in a smaller company that has 5 agents. So we can completely scale the full gamut from 5 to 5,000. So we just want to look at the use case and understand their requirements, and we're happy to entertain a conversation with them and show them what we're able to offer.
Great, Matt. Thank you so much. I don't see any other questions. I think we got them all there. Awesome. So hopefully all of you guys on the call learned something today. As Matt mentioned at the beginning, we do offer this webinar series, let's see, every other month right now, but we've had quite a bit of interest in it, so we might end up doing it more often, but we will always let you know through our newsletters, through our LinkedIn group. And as Matt mentioned, we're going to be having a couple more certification days coming up. So if you missed out on getting certified last week, please reach out to your channel manager as to when those will be coming up, because they're super valuable. So with that, go ahead and close it out. I will send everybody a recording of our call today, as well as a copy of the slides that Matt addressed. And the next one of these will be on March 4th. And so we'll send out the link to that. We'll cover 3 different wins, 3 different customers. So it'll be valuable. We'll do that in about 2 months from now. So with that, we'll go ahead and close things out and say have a great day. And thanks again, everybody, for your time. And we'll talk to y'all soon.